Hello everybody, my name's Hardy Tech Yo-Yo, and welcome to the Pokemon Showdown Scoreboard. So if you're new around here, you may be asking, what is the Showdown Scoreboard? Well, I'm glad you asked. Pokemon Showdown Scoreboard is a unique competition show, I guess you could call it, between each of my Pokemon on my own team. You see, we go on Pokemon Showdown, which is a free battle simulator that anybody can play in their browser. We randomly generate 6 Pokemon. Any Pokemon, anywhere from a Turtwig to a Giratina. Anywhere in there, we generate 6 random Pokemon, and we have to play some games on Pokemon Showdown using whatever team is given to us. And we have to play in the tier of the highest tiered Pokemon that we have, so it means we very well could possibly be taking an Igglybuff into Ubers. But what makes this a competition exactly? Well, our Pokemon, throughout the course of 3 battles, will be competing for points, and whoever has the least amount of points at the end of the episode, done. They're eliminated. We don't kill them or anything. But you probably got another question now about how in the world are these Pokemon even earning points in the first place? Well, the point system isn't too complicated, but if you want a better breakdown, there will be a link in the description to take you to a full rundown of all the different ways to earn points. Essentially, if one of your Pokemon knocks out one of your enemy Pokemon, it gets 2 points. However, when one of your Pokemon is knocked out, it does lose 1 point. Then if your Pokemon hits one of your opponent's Pokemons with a critical hit, it gets a bonus point, which means if you knock out one of your opponent's Pokemon with a critical hit, it gets 3 points in total. There is no negative if you're hit with a critical hit, but if one of your Pokemon is knocked out with a critical hit, it actually does get a sympathy point, meaning that it counteracts the knocked out point, meaning that it ends up with a 0 difference. If one of your Pokemon hits a move that does not have a guaranteed status effect or status drop, such as Fire Blast burning your opponent, which is like a 30% chance. If you burn your opponent when using Fire Blast, you get a bonus point. However, if you are hit by one of those status effects or side effects, such as getting burnt by Fire Blast, you do lose a point. If you dodge an attack that your opponent sends your way, you do get a point. However, if you miss an attack, you do lose a point. There are also points for more supportive Pokemon as well, though. However, we do have assisting points, where if you have a Pokemon that sets up Stealth Rocks or Spikes or uses Aromatherapy, Rapid Spin, Tailwind, essentially anything that'll help out the overall team and make the battle easier for you guys, it does get a point for doing that. As well as you get a point if you phase out an enemy that has status boost on it. For example, if a Pokemon used Swords Dance and then you use Whirlwind on it, you get a bonus point because you got rid of that Swords Dance threat. And if your opponent forfeits, every Pokemon that's still alive gets a point. There are also assist points that can be given out at the player's discretion. For example, if a Gastrodon on my side used Toxic on an opponent Latias, but the Latias knocked out my Gastrodon with Draco Meteor, that would not be good. If I sent out a Mamoswine afterwards, the Mamoswine uses Ice Shard, takes Latias down to red health but doesn't knock it out, then Toxic goes into effect and knocks out the Latias. The Gastrodon would get the 2 points because Toxic knocked it out. However, Mamoswine would get 1 assist point because it did assist in the knockout in that case. Overall, that's pretty much how the points work. Again, there will be a link in the description if you want to read more about the points. Now, if a Pokemon lasts 10 episodes straight without getting eliminated, it enters the Hall of Fame. Now, the Hall of Fame that we have so far consists of the first 2 seasons of Pokemon Showdown Scoreboard, and it's quite a cast of characters ranging from someone like Virizion, a legendary Pokemon, to Finneon. That's right, little Finneon is in the Pokemon Showdown Scoreboard Hall of Fame. It competed in Ubers, by the way. This Finneon was on the same team as the Rayquaza. The Finneon lasted longer than the Rayquaza. This series is really weird, okay? And once we have 6 Pokemon join the Hall of Fame, that is the end of the season, and we have a Hall of Fame special. The only final rule I can think of is that when you're battling, forfeits count as one of your 3 games if the battle goes more than 5 turns. If the opponent forfeits within the first 5 turns of the game, then you don't count it as one of your official 3 games and you move on to the next one. So, pretty easy, right? And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and generate our very first team for Showdown Scoreboard Season 4. So today we're going to be using a site called randompokemon.com. We're going to allow every single Pokemon, Ubers, not fully evolved Pokemon, different forms, every type. The only Pokemon that will not be eligible for the Showdown Scoreboard are Pokemon that are already in the Hall of Fame. Right now, we are not counting Season 3 of Showdown Scoreboard as a complete season because it was canceled in the middle of the season. So unfortunately, Doug Trio did make it into the Hall of Fame, but his invitation has been revoked. Before, we had a species clause where if we used a Pokemon such as Flareon, we couldn't use that again. For this season, the slate is being cleaned. Everybody is eligible except for current Hall of Famers. So we're going to do this one at a time. Let's see what our team is going to be. Our first Pokemon is Crawdon. Okay, I'm down with that. I love me some Crawdon. Second Pokemon, Azumarill. Not a bad choice if I think so. 2 water types, so, not great so far, but that's okay. Conkeldurr is going to be our third Pokemon. I thought we had a Conkeldurr in the Hall of Fame, but it turns out we do not, so Conkeldurr is on the team. We're getting all fully evolved Pokemon so far, so this is going really well. Fourth Pokemon, Rhyhorn. Not great. We'll see what we can do with it. Our fifth Pokemon is Regirock. Regirock is not in the Hall of Fame. We did use a Regirock before called Skrillex, but it never made it to the Hall of Fame, so it is once again eligible for another chance. And our final Pokemon on the team is going to be Electros. I like it. Okay, you know what? Not great type coverage, I'll admit, but Rhyhorn's really the only Pokemon that stands out there as not perfect. But that's our team. I hope you guys are excited about the return of Pokemon Showdown Scoreboard. If it's your first time ever watching it, I hope you enjoy it. The series will be starting tomorrow. See you guys then.